What's up, y'all? This is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. And you guys know I go around this amazing planet finding the best humans I can find to come on here and grow, challenge, and transform your thinking. Now, I love meeting new people, and especially people who are out there freaking killing it. So I am super excited because we are joined by a true maven in the realm of millennial financing. Her name is Margarita Yang, and Annie brings a fresh and witty approach to navigating today's economic hurdles. And I cannot wait to get into this with her because she's not only an author, but also a bestseller. Okay. So she wrote this amazing book, The 5-Day Job Search, and it's empowering young professionals to overcome student debt and to land their dream job. Now, Annie, you're not taking on like a small thing here. Like this is huge, especially in this market that we are in. Now, with over 1 million views on YouTube, Annie's engaging and direct style breaks down the complex financial concept into actionable advice. And I am super excited to talk to you. How are you doing, Annie? Welcome to Straight Talk.
Neena, thank you so much for having me on Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. So excited to be here today to share with your audience some valuable pieces of information that they probably never heard of from anywhere else.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I'm super excited to have you here. And like, I know that you are really killing it and helping people like really think about what it looks like, to be financially savvy, to know what they're going after, like what they're doing in their job search. So I'm really excited to have you. But before we get digging into all of that, I do want to know a little bit about you. So tell us who you are, Annie.
All right, so I'm just a Asian American millennial born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, to Chinese working class immigrants. Of course, growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. So even though I was a straight A student in high school, I didn't go
Mhm.
straight to college because I didn't want to take on any student loan debt. I didn't want to go to college, lost, undecided, not knowing what I want to do for my career, switch majors multiple times, and waste time and money only to come out to be one of those 43% of graduates that are
Mm.
underemployed or unemployed. I think anything we set out to do, it needs to have a plan, a comprehensive plan that we can execute because that's what leads to success. So I worked a whole string of minimum wage jobs after school. And
Mhm.
then I went to college. I did get a degree in communications, but coming out, I was working at Domino's Pizza, you know, also that classic story.
That's
And
right.
after that, I moved to Boston and I said, this is ridiculous. I'm finally moving to the city that has a lot more opportunity. I need to take full advantage of this and leave my mark. I'm going to make my mark
Mhm.
on the city. And I don't care what anyone says, whether they tell me I'm unqualified or whatever. I'm just going to apply to accounting jobs with no accounting degree because I'm good with my money. My personal
Okay.
money management is excellent. I lived on a very tight budget for many years. There's no reason why I can't help a business with their money, just like I can do it for myself. So after applying to 50 jobs a day for a week, I got an accounting job with no degree. And I did this for 3 different job searches. Each one
Wow.
each one. First one, I landed it in 7 days. Second one, I landed it in 6 days. Third one, I landed it in 5 days. So clearly, I'm doing something right, even though recruiters tell me I'm not qualified. And so
Right.
I'm going to tell people my secrets because clearly they're not teaching this in college.
Well, first of all, did you ever go back to college?
What do you mean
Did
by
you
go
ever
back?
go? I mean, not back. You never went. So did you ever go?
No, no, I did go. That's why
Oh,
I
you
said
did? Oh, okay.
I got the degree in communications. I got an
Got it.
online degree in communications, a bachelor's degree. But coming out, I was working at Domino's.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
That's the part I missed. Okay.
Mhm.
Wow, that first of all, I just freaking love you. Okay. So you go and where first of all, where did this freaking wisdom come from coming out of high school? Like that very, very wise to think about, I don't want to go to college. I don't want to come out with debt. I don't want to change my major 50 times. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Most kids don't think like that, right? Our next step is naturally college after high school. So, where's that wisdom from?
That I hear voices in my head even back when I was 16. My boyfriend at the time, no longer boyfriend, right? He introduced me to these meditation tapes on
Mm,
like how to control your energy. I'm not sure
mhm.
if you believe in that stuff. Some people think it's voodoo, but I tried it out. And after doing this whole program, I became a lot more intuitive and in touch with my own heart. And so when I was 16, I just got the strong feeling, if you go, this is not the right path for you. Don't go. This is going to be the one thing
Wow.
regret in your life. So while everyone was telling me that I'm wrong and I'm gonna be a failure, I'm a total loser, even though I'm smart, I had the straight A's to prove it, that I'm going
Right.
the wrong path in life. Um, it's almost like they're leaving me to die off on my own, right? I believed in myself, you know?
That's
Um,
awesome.
a lot of courage to follow my heart,
Mhm. Mhm.
but, I do what's right for my life, not what other
That
people think is right for me.
that's really powerful. How did your parents take it? Because that's a big blow to them probably too. We're like, "What do you mean you're not going to college?" What did they think?
You would think that they had a lot of opinions on this because especially they're Chinese, so it's like, "Hey, our Chinese daughter needs to go to college," especially she's the
Right.
oldest daughter. She represents us, we need that prestige. But my parents had nothing to say. My guidance counselor, on the other hand, she brought me into a meeting once a week, every Friday after school for 1 hour to tell me that I was going to be a failure for the rest of my
Oh,
life,
wow.
and to
Wow.
con and to convince me to get a college degree in yoga and to take on $40,000 in student loan debt to finance it. That's what she wanted me to do because I said I was interested
Wow.
in yoga. And, at one point, she invited my parents into a meeting along with the director of the guidance counseling department. A very special meeting indeed, and she looked my parents in the eye, she looked my mom in the eye, she's like, "Your daughter's gonna be a failure, what do you think of that?" And
Whoa.
my mom had nothing to say, and then she turned to my dad and said the same thing, and my dad was like, "Annie's 18 years old already. We're not responsible for her decisions. What she wants to do, she needs to suffer the consequences of her own choices, so we're not gonna interfere." That's what my dad said.
Wow. Powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful, right? Powerful. And that's really fantastic. I love that you decided to follow your heart too. And I do believe that there are things within us that we have that we don't tap into. And that's a really powerful thing, especially at that young of age. So even if though he's an ex, he served you well, I think, in that little
Yes,
area
I
there.
really
So
appreciate him. I still appreciate him for that to
yeah,
this day.
that's so cool. So then you go to Boston and you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna apply for accounting jobs. Now, there's one thing about personal finances, but accounting is a different animal, isn't it? So that's pretty like tough. You're a pretty tough girl. Like you're like, nope, I'm gonna go ahead and go do some accounting. And so that must have been really powerful for you. So how was that though when you got that first offer, when you went to that first job? What was that feeling for you? How did you feel walking into that?
I had imposter syndrome because I'm like, "I'm not qualified to be here. Why'd he give me this job?" But the interviewer, who was also the owner of the company, he was like, "I like your spunk. I don't see that in
Mm.
people. You've got spunk. I like that attitude of yours." And so I got hired based on my personality, not based on any of my prior experience or training. Um,
That's
but
so
I
good.
mean, that doesn't like stop me, right? I have
Right.
my foot in the door. I'm finally given the opportunity. And so what I do is like every day after work, I study, right? So if I have a problem at work and I don't know how to solve it and no one's able to help me or mentor me in something, I go home, I watch Udemy videos, right? I
Mhm,
pay 12.99 a course and, just spend 1 hour a day before bed watching the video in bed,
mhm, mhm.
learning. And I would also borrow books from the library. I remember specifically I borrowed QuickBooks for Dummies and Bookkeeping for Dummies. And then every time
Hey,
I also had an issue at work that I didn't understand, I would Google the problem, hoping that someone in some online forum had the same problem and had a solution to offer. And usually that covered it. So I basically
wow.
learned as I went. I self-taught.
That is so good. That is so good. And I love what you're doing because this is speaking to so many people right now. Like I was a director of a program. I had like 20 people under me. And that was one of my thing too. If I saw somebody come in to an interview with determination and the willingness to do it, I was like, okay, let's give them a shot. And they were like, well, no, 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 let's give them a shot. Let's give them a shot because I have somebody come in right now with a whole resume of amazing things. And to be honest with you, sometimes that was more of my challenge having that person on board because they knew it all. There was nothing you can teach them. They knew it
'Cause
all.
they're not
Right?
open. They're not
Right.
open. They're like, "I already know what I'm doing. Why are you teaching me something else?" Right? And
Right.
these people, they don't understand every company does it differently. Just
That's right.
because company A did it this way. Doesn't mean it's the right way. Company B has a different way of doing it because every company has a different system. They
Right.
do it that
Right.
way for a reason, right? And
Right.
every company has a different vision, a different culture, different team. So someone who's like more experienced, they come in feeling like they know it all. And
Mhm.
sometimes it is nice to hire someone who's less experienced because you train them to be exactly what you want. But
Right.
you can't teach. Here's what you can't teach. You can't teach passion. You can't teach that determination. You can't teach attitude. You can't even, I always thought when I was a kid, I thought all adults were polite and professional. I've learned now you can't even teach an adult to be polite.
Right.
They either
Right.
already have that politeness or they don't. So pay attention to
That's
that
right.
hiring. Yeah.
That's right. I always say that you can't teach hospitality. You can't. That's not, that's something sometimes that's innate, right? So what do you say to these people coming out of college right now, or people who are searching? Because one of the things that I realize too is when I'm looking on, like, all these job search, places, right? LinkedIn or whatever it is, the job description is so long, right? That you are like, by halfway down the page, you're like, I cannot do this job. They want like one person to do 50 people's job, right? And so then you start the imposter syndrome and you start to question yourself and you don't think you can do it. What do you say to people who are out there right now really searching? They have the spunk, they want to do something, but they are getting discouraged. What's that message?
My message is you gotta change your mindset. You have to put yourself in the employer's shoes and understand that's a wish list. You have to
Right.
pretend it's Christmas. That employer is shopping. They're like, "What can I get with this money in my wallet?"
Right, right, right.
And they're like on Amazon.com going like, I want to buy a new mattress. That mattress looks nice. How about that one too? And this one and this one and this one. And they add it all to their shopping cart, but that doesn't mean they're checking it out. Right.
Right.
So
So
it's like
good.
that. So they've added this whole long job description of what they want from someone and
Right.
like their qualifications and their requirements, and it is just a wish list. That doesn't mean they get everything on their wish list. For all
So
you know,
good.
they get only 25% or 50%. You don't know who has applied. So
Right.
just throw your application in. And if you get called for an interview, it means you're qualified.
Right.
You're
Oh, so
qualified.
good.
Yeah.
So good. I mean, and just to think about, like, even going back to your story, the fact that you even did it without the degree, right? So I think people need to realize that if they're bringing something to the table, their value is worth looking at. And a lot of people think, well, I don't have my master's degree in that, or I don't have a. Now, granted, for some things you really do need a degree. I don't want a surgeon that's never been in college or taking surgery classes to do any surgery on me. But when it comes to like other things like processes and systems, I feel like we can all learn that if we put in the work. I mean, you were doing that with Udemy and, like, YouTube University and all this other stuff. And I think there's value in that. There really is value in that. And so, what are you doing right now? Because I know that you have this YouTube channel. A lot of people are following you. What is your message to them? What is your channel about? Tell me about that.
Right now, the channel is going in a different direction because I used to teach people how to save and manage their money, but now I'm seeing we're heading into this Great Depression. We're
Yeah.
gonna have so much unemployment, and especially young people, they don't have the skill of looking for a job. So I'm
Yeah.
literally 1 to 2 times a day, maybe even 3 times a day. I'm sitting down in front of the computer with my webcam on, and I'm showing my screen. Hey guys, you need to click here, click there, click here, like for different things. So
Mm,
one of the things I'm doing right now, I actually just started this yesterday, is I am testing out 24 different AI headshot generators. So I'm like putting down my own money to test these different AI headshot generators because college students don't have the money to pay $300 to $500 for a professional headshot
right.
session, right?
Right.
So what I want to do is I want to figure out a solution for this so that they can still look great in their LinkedIn profile, so that if they take a selfie from various different angles, they can still have like a nice looking headshot. So
Mhm.
I'm just
Mhm.
testing out different things and sharing my screen, doing reviews and showing people they can do it too. They can brand themselves in the job marketplace so that they get the job quickly.
That's encouraging. That's very encouraging. Um, do you um do you recommend, or do you believe also in, like, taking a job just to gain experience? So let's say that a millennial's watching you right now and they're like, "Oh, but I really, I have college and everything." Do you recommend, like, go and get that part-time at Starbucks? Go ahead and know what it is to work hard or go what it is, to work those hours in a day and all of that. Do you recommend that as well, or what's your messaging in that?
Well, I'm the younger end of the millennial. I'm 1995. So someone
Mhm,
who's just
mhm.
coming out of college now is actually Gen Z. So do you mean
Right. Right,
millennial
that's
or
true.
Gen Z
Right,
in
right,
terms
right.
of
I
that?
was talking well, I'm thinking that your message, like, to me right now is across all the generations though, right? So
Right.
that's why I'm asking. So you're right, it is Gen Z. What do you think of Gen Z? What do you think of their work ethic, and do you think that this is something that could apply in their life?
Yes, this can apply in their life. If they come out of college, like my sister just finished college this year, right? So she
Mhm,
came to me asking for help, and I'm like, "Well, we have to get you on track to something you're actually interested in." And she told me that she
mhm,
was interested in working with animals. So I was like, "Great. At least get your foot in the door with something animal related," right?
mhm, mhm.
But you know what? I don't know what happened to her, but she ended up working part-time at a bubble tea shop. But even like me and my parents are like, we are proud of her. We don't think
Right.
as like, "Oh, wow, went to college and now you're working minimum wage, can't even get a full-time job, you're working at a bubble tea shop.
She's
Great."
working though.
No,
Yeah.
she's working, she's not at home playing video games, she's
Right.
making money, she's learning these important skills. Customer service is a
Mhm.
skill that's just as important. I have found people who went from college and straight into an office job, they don't understand customer service.
That's right.
They don't
That's right.
understand, like, they don't appreciate as well that they
Mhm.
work in a nice comfy office, in a comfy chair, and, they're on the computer all day, right? I've
Mhm.
worked, like, the Domino's job. I was on my feet all day. I came home smelling like pizza. I had someone screaming at me on the phone. I didn't get their order wrong, someone else did, but they're telling me that their order was late, therefore they deserve a free whatever, right?
Right.
Like, and they're telling me I'm unprofessional and they wanna speak to my manager when I didn't do anything wrong. So, like, all of these, like, what you would think is a bad
Navigating,
experience,
yeah. Yeah.
I actually look back and I'm like, "Wow, that gave me grit."
Yeah.
Like, now when someone, like, is rejecting me or speaking to me rudely, I'm like, "Thank you," and I
Yeah.
put a smile on my face because I've worked customer service for so long, So these skills in
Right.
and of itself, they are good and valuable as well. What lessons you take are up to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my god, I love that. I love that. Okay, so talk to me about, your best-selling book. Talk to me about the 5-day job search. What is that about? Why did you write this?
I wrote this because people don't know how to brand themselves and position themselves as an industry expert. Because,
Mm,
like, there are so many look, I'm smart, right? But there are many people much smarter than me and, like, on paper, more qualified and more capable than me, but I'm the one that's given opportunity over and over again, and people are, like, flocking to me, like, "We wanna give you this, we wanna give you that," and I'm just like and of course, with my imposter syndrome, I'm just like, "Why me? Why are they picking me?
right,
Why not someone else? Why are they
right.
always picking me over someone else?" And I realized it's because of the fact that I had, like, all those minimum wage jobs, I had to really learn to sell myself. I
Mhm,
couldn't let, like,
mhm.
a piece of paper do the talking for me. I had to learn how to actually market and sell myself and convey my value, and I've learned that other people don't know how to do that, and that's a
Right.
problem. I hate this problem so much because we have people who are empty like, they're an empty shell. They have no substance behind what they're doing. For example, the infamous Elizabeth Holmes and her scandal with Theranos, she got, like, billions of dollars in investments for her, fake blood test machine that didn't
Right.
even work, and, she's lost so much money, right? And she was, named Forbes 30 under 30 along with, a valuation of, like, $1 billion, so, young one of the youngest self-made billionaires because of the valuation and stuff like that, only to come down, like, for all of it to come crashing down and for people to realize, "Wow, she's not competent." Where are the competent experts? Where are
Right,
the
right,
people who
right.
actually know what they're talking about? Even during COVID, we have people on TV talking that are not qualified to speak. But why are they
Mhm.
given airtime? Where are the experts that actually know what they're talking about? And it's because those experts are too busy getting better at their craft than
That's
knowing
right.
how to sell themselves. So I want people to also, like, be competent, be smart, know what you're doing, but also have a platform, right? Like,
That's so
these
good.
are the people that deserve
Yeah,
airtime, that deserve
right,
recognition. So
right.
that's why I do what I do.
No, I love that. I love that you do what you do, and I love how you do it. One of the things that I think is also tricking a lot of people, or the empty talking like you were talking about, is a lot of the AI, right? I like AI. I think it's very, useful. I do. But like if I hop on a call with somebody who says they're an expert, I realize very quickly that they're not, right? And
How do
and,
you
and it's
realize that? Let me know.
well, the reason is because what they had sold me, let's say, to get me on that meeting, is completely different than the confidence or what I see coming out of their mouth, right?
Mm,
And so I've been doing this for about 20 years. I've been coaching for about 20 years, right? So some of the things that they say, I'm like, yep, no, that's not gonna, yep, no, that's not happening. But here's the thing. I also realized that now you can go on Chat GPT, let's say, for example, and get a whole coaching format already lined out for you, even if you don't know what you're doing. And so Chat GPT will just give you all of the workbooks and the words. But if you don't have that experience or know-how or wisdom behind it, it will fall apart. It will. Eventually. You might get a couple of fishes, but you're not going to land the whole boat, you know
right.
and so that's happening quite a bit. So I love that you're setting the experts up to actually be able to show themselves out there as well, because that is a challenge. It is a challenge when you are an expert in something but don't know how to market yourself, and that's happening a lot, and people are not being able to link the two. That's not an easy game, right?
Yeah, I
So I
gotta
like
agree.
that you're teaching them that.
And what you just said, it reminded me of a story that I heard. I think it came from Brian Tracy, where like this factory got shut down because there was some problem, and then they hired a consultant to come in to fix the problem. In 15 minutes flat, the guy took a nail and put
Oh
it
yeah.
somewhere in the factory, and everything was fixed, up and running. He gave a bill for $10,000,
Hmm.
and the person paying the bill was like, "What's this? Why $10,000? You only did 15 minutes of work." And he was like, "I want an itemized bill." He goes, "Okay, $1 for the nail, $9,999 for my expertise of knowing
That's
where
right.
the nail."
It's true.
That is expertise, you know?
Yes, that's his
Yeah.
expertise. That is so awesome. I love that. So now your book is out here. You're speaking to people. What are the things that you're getting back? Because you said it twice already, and I wanted to touch a bit on that. It's the imposter syndrome, right? So how do you overcome that? How are you like, okay, imposter syndrome is here, and I'm gonna do it anyway? Like, what is that for you?
For me, first of all, you have to realize courage is not the same thing as confidence, right? So, of
Mm-hmm.
course, you cannot be confident if you don't actually know what you're doing. So, you have
Mm-hmm.
to first know what you're doing. So, what I tell people is you do actually still have to develop the skills, especially if you're young like me. I'm still in my 20s. I still have so much more to learn. So, I proactively close those gaps. That's my weakness. I have to close what I don't know, right? And I also
Right.
don't know what I don't know.
Right.
So what I do is I actually many times I had to look at job listings well in advance when I wasn't looking for a job to see what are they looking for. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay, they want someone who knows how to do payroll, but I don't know how to do payroll. Let me see if there's a course on how to do that
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
already figure that out. So once you've closed those knowledge gaps you have, the next step is the actual confidence part, right? How do you have confidence? Well, I like to repeat to myself over and over again, like, no one can tell me I'm not Annie Margarita Yang. Like, even
Right.
just yesterday, I was on a pre-interview at a podcast, and she was telling me, "You're unqualified. What makes you think you're a branding expert? What? So you wrote a book, now you're
Wow.
qualified to give branding advice? Where's your track record of helping people with their brands? Come back to me when you've helped, you know, many people with their brands and you actually have a proven portfolio to prove it." She actually said that to me. And
Wow.
I was like, "Gee, thanks for your
Wow.
opinion, like,
Yes.
where's my track record? Look at my brand. Look at what I have on LinkedIn and on YouTube. I have a following. People love my brand. It's polished. I don't need to
Right.
have actually help people one on one. People love my brand. They want to know what's the secret for how I make it look so amazing, right? That's
Right.
the proof in itself." And then I said, "I'm not interested in being on your show." You see,
I
so
wouldn't be either.
people can question. They can question my credibility. They can question my authority just like her. But the thing is, what I like to tell myself is, but no one can tell me I'm not Annie Margarita Yang. So what
That's
I
right.
like to say in my head over and over again, no one can tell me I'm not Annie Margarita Yang. I just say I am Annie Margarita Yang because if you speak your truth, there's your confidence.
Right.
And I don't care what someone's opinion is unless they pay my bills. So I ask myself, is she paying my bills?
Right.
Does she deserve to
Right.
give me her judgment, to cast her judgment? No. You know, the
Right.
only person I care about is the person paying my bills. So someone, it has to be a client, it has to be my boss or something. I respect
Mhm.
their opinion because they're paying my bills. But if you're not paying my bills,
Mhm.
you don't
Mhm.
have a right to speak down on me. So that is
Right.
how I approach it and how I get confidence.
No, that's
Yeah.
good. No, that's good. And I think, but you did say a key word there, right? If close the knowledge gaps. Close the knowledge gaps. I think that's, if you are feeling, those of you who are listening are feeling a little bit incongruent, like you're really just not getting it. Maybe there's something that you're reaching too far ahead of your knowledge gap, right? So just slow down for a second because what you have, somebody needs. Maybe you're just overreaching. And I think we all do that because we get excited. I work with a lot of women. So, sometimes they're like, "Oh, but I want to, help people make 150K months." I'm like, "Yeah, but we haven't even gotten to 2K months yet. Let's back up." And it's not because you can't do it. I think you will be able to when you close that knowledge gap. But right now, let's focus on the fact that you can help them maybe with a 2K month, and that is okay because it's a
Yes,
beautiful start. And I think people just feel like because we are inundated, Annie, with so much false information, and everybody's out here with these ads telling you that you're going to make 100K months in 30 days, and you're thinking, okay, but why am I not making it? Maybe because you're not there yet, and maybe because they're lying, maybe because they're not even making that, right?
a
And
lot of them
so
are lying. It is
a
true.
lot of them
Yeah,
are. It
yeah,
is
yeah.
true, right? So I love that you're saying, you know what? You don't know that. Why don't you close that knowledge gap? And I love that you just said you look ahead. What do they want? Oh, wait a minute. I don't know this. Let me find that out. Right? That is just such wisdom. That's what I'm saying, Annie. You're not, I know you said you're in your 20s, but honestly, you're like a 70 or 80-year-old trapped into a 20-year-old
I'm
body.
an
Because
old soul.
you're an old soul. All the wisdom coming out of you right now is like, she is not in her 20s. She is lying. She is not telling the truth. You have a lot of old wisdom. I'm proud of what you're doing and the platform that you're doing and the way you're helping people. I think it's phenomenal, really, especially when you can come at it with a truthful vibe and you're telling people this is the truth, this is how it is, and you're putting your money where your mouth is, right? Like what you're doing right now with the photos and trying to help them be able to build out their brand, right? So
That's right.
Annie, you're killing it, girl. You're killing it. And I'm
Thank
so
you, Nina.
stoked. So
I'm
stoked. I'm
really
gonna be
flattered.
following you. I am going to be following you. I'm a Gen X, but I'm going to be following you behind because I am so proud of you and what you're doing. And I think that, you're adding a lot of value to the world. And that's exactly what Straight Talk is about. It's like having people come on here to grow and challenge our thinking and to add value to the world. And I am so blessed and honored that you came on the show today. But before I let you go, because I don't want to, let us know how people can follow you, where they can see your content, like how they can get more knowledge, all of that. Give it to
People can
us.
follow me by going on AnnieYangFinancial.com. That is really the hub of everything because I'm building the Annie Yang financial empire where all roads lead to Rome. So while you can follow me on social media and everything, it's all going to feed back into AnnieYangFinancial.com. So you can get the 5-day job search book. The
Mhm.
audio book is available for free on that website. Just pop in
Oh,
your
wow.
email and you can get it for free. Download it. But after you listen to the 5-hour audiobook, you're going to realize this is chock full of so much information because it's 49 chapters long that if you ever
Mm,
want to reference back to it and actually follow the advice, you can't listen to all 5 hours again, right? You
right.
want to buy the paperback book to refer quickly. So you can get the signed paperback book also on AnnieYangFinancial.com. You add the book to your checkout, and in the shopping cart, you can use the coupon code No Sugar, NOSUGAR, to get a 10% off discount on the signed paperback copy.
That's freaking awesome, Annie. You're killing it, girl. I wish I had a mic around that I could just drop on the ground because you just dropped the mic today for real. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you and I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
having me on Straight
Yeah,
Talk.
so fun. Guys, I told you she was going to be freaking amazing. So make sure that you follow her. I'm going to link all of her information below so you don't miss anything. Go and get the book. Okay. Yes, the audiobook as well, but get the book. Okay. Because I just think there's something powerful with pages. There's something powerful with reading and underlining and highlighting and all of that. It sticks to the brain a bit better and it helps you to actually be able to reference back. So make sure that you go ahead and pick that up. I'm going to link her information so you can follow her on her website and her YouTube and all that great stuff because the girl knows what she's doing. So you better go ahead and follow. This is Neena Perez. This is Straight Talk, no sugar added. Until next time.